Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So in this particular tutorial, we'll be looking into CRUD operations and the logger configuration. So the CRUD operations include create, retrieve, update and delete methods of any of the request. Okay, so we too need some of the jars. So in my last video, I have downloaded the dependencies and the plugins. So that dependency, with the help of the dependency, we can import some classes. So we'll be looking into that too. And before that, so it's like Gatling script breakdown. So the Gatling has mainly three different component when we talk about its scripts. So it has protocol setup. So we'll be defining whether we are calling which particular protocol. So in our tutorial, most of the time we'll be looking into HTTP protocol. So we'll be looking into HTTP protocol builder class. We'll be designing some scenarios. So we'll be looking for different transactions and multiple requests. So we'll be defining few scenarios as well. So, and once we have defined the scenarios and we have a protocol in place, we need to inject some load upon it. So for injecting load, we need a simulation class. So these are the basic component of a Gatling script. So, and the required imports for such will be import dot. So these are the few import file that we need to import, some jars and all. So yeah, so this is the some theoretical part. We'll surely look into the practical part in a few moments. And going ahead, I too have talked about the logger. So we'll be also adding some logger configuration. So we'll be adding a logback-test.xml file within our resources folder, and that would contain some of the configuration to generate some logs, and that logs will be mostly looking to the console logs. So yes, so let's quickly go back to the Visual Studio. And so I have just opened this particular project into my Visual Studio, which I have designed in my last tutorial with the help of a Maven quick start, and then I have deleted the main folder from it. So I'll be adding my very first class. So it has app test, so I'll be deleting that too. So I'll create a new class and I'll name it as get test.java. Fine. Okay, and then I need some imports. So I have added the required jars, and then I'll start with the HTTP protocol builder. The first component, HTTP protocol builder. Yes, I'll create an object, HTTP protocol, then I'll define it, HTTP function session. Base URL, I'll be defining base URL, and I'll be hitting https://reqres.in. So I'll be hitting with a very few users, so I'm taking it as a sample. So once I have set up the protocol, I need to go for a scenario building. So scenario builder, I'll have to call scenario builder class, scenario builder. Yes, again an object, and then I need to define it. So first of all, we can give the name of the scenario argument. Yes, we'll name it as scenario 1, or just a launch. We are launching this particular UI. Fine, launch scenario. Then we need to give the definition of it. We will pass like execute. So what will be the action builder? So what we are not going to do is, like, for this we'll have to call HTTP method, HTTP protocol. Okay, name this particular request. We'll have to name the request. So this is our get call which we are making, and then we'll have to define the methods. So yes, we are getting all the help required. So the methods, so I'll be defining the endpoint. Yes, so we are done with the scenario as well. So finally we need to inject some load. So we will use this setup. So setup, so setup method is a setup is a method from a simulation class. Scenario dot inject open yes, and then how I need to execute this, I'll have to define this. So at once user, so I'll be just sitting with a single user at once, and then finally I'll have to define the protocol, which scenario dot protocol, and then I'll have to define the protocol. So the protocol object, okay, setup. Okay, so setup is a method of a simulation class, so it is giving me an error, which means I'll have to extend that particular simulation class. Extend simulation. Hopefully error will be gone. Yes, so yes, now I have defined everything, and now I can make this particular test run. So let me go back to the terminal, and as I'll be running it for the very first time, so it may take some time to load all the dependencies. Let's see how much time it takes, and hope everything goes fine. Okay, and yes, this particular error which I am getting, it is something related to my settings. So please ignore that particular error, and you can see I have made a single request and I got a response as okay, which means success. And this is as I made a single request, so the minimum response time, maximum response time. So all the response time have the same value, and I was able to make a call within 800 milliseconds. So here I got the such information, response time distribution, and it also provide me some reports. So for another method such as post, put, and delete, I'll be creating few more classes. So this time I'll just copy it and I'll paste it. 1, 2, 3. I'll just rename all this class. So get post, find, rename it as put, and this to be delete. Are you sure? Okay, I'm not renaming it, I'm just deleting it. Rename, delete. Okay, so first of all, I'll look into the post call. So here I'll have to also change the class name, and the class name is post. Fine. So again, so once we'll check for any other method, we'll have to import the required jars. Then again, we will have to define this HTTP protocol setup. So I have just defined, I'll be using the same req res, and now this time I'll be using a post call. So post call I'll be using, and I'll be using, instead of get method, I'll be using a post method. So I'll have to also check the all the required details that I need to pass with the post details. So probably our endpoint will /API/users, and finally I can also pass the body data. So in order to pass the body data, we have different methods with the post call, and that we can check here. Dot, so body, yes, body data. We can also pass it from any file, or we can also directly put it. So for the very first time, we'll be using raw file body. We can use a raw file body, and then we can pass the data. So we'll be passing a data. So that particular data which we'll be passing, we'll be defining anywhere. So data.json, I can say for the moment data.json, though I have not defined it. So I'll define this particular data.json, and in order to do so, I'll again go to my test folder, and then I'll add a folder name as resources. Within that, resources, and all the required resources I will pass it from here. So here I'll add a new file named as data.json, and then here I'll define the body data. So the body data for post call will be picked from the resources folder and the particular file named as data.json. So this is the one way with the help of which we can pass the body data. We'll look for the another way in the post call. So for going towards let's go to post call and we'll have to make some updates here. So here we'll have to give the class name as post, and then we'll have to change the method. Fine, we'll have to also look for the endpoint details into the res. So we'll go for update, yes, and so yes, API slash user slash 2. So slash API slash user slash 2. So this is how the endpoint changes, and again now we need to change. So put, we have changed the method, and now finally we need to pass the body. So again, let's see what are the different ways we can pass the body data. We can body parts, check, digest, auth, forms. Yes, the forms. I was also trying to show you we have multiple options to pass as forms data, multi-valued query parameter. We have a query parameter. We have a sign in, check if, okay, URL encoded, and yes, as to string. Here you can also see we can also pass as a string. We do have a string body. Where is that? Let me check. So for this dot body will pass as string body. So here we'll pass it as string body dot string. Yes, we'll pass it string body, and then we'll have to define everything. Okay, let me first align it. Okay, I can see still some error. Okay, we'll see. Give me some time. Fine. Dot execute. Put body call. Yes, okay. So everything is fine. So the only change which I wanted to make is here is like I'll have to update the name of the request, and the name has I have changed it to put call, and finally did I change it for post call as well? Yeah, I did so, and finally I'll have to also define the delete call. So first of all, let me update the name of the class. I have just updated the name. I'll have to also update the method that I need to call. Oh my god. I just updated the method, and then I'll have to also check the endpoint detail. So what I am fine, let me check for the detail slash API slash user slash 2. Okay, so where I am in the detail delete. So name delete, and then finally what slash API slash users slash 2. And all the calls I have just given the launch scenario. I can change it to for delete, it's a delete scenario. For gets, now it is retrieve. For post, it is create, and finally for put it is update. Okay, hope everything goes fine. Let me rerun or run this. Sorry. So this time I have defined 4 different classes. Okay, I need to enable run multiple simulation. Fine. Okay, so I'll have to go to my POM file, and so I need to add a configuration file in the plugin section of a Gatling Maven plugin. So configuration, yes. Within that configuration, I need to add run multiple simulation. Yes, fine, and I need to enable it. So mark it as true. And hopefully this time when I'll run it, I will not get any surprises. Fine, running. This is system error. We can ignore it. It should have given a warning. That would be good. Okay, 100. Fine. So we got a response for it. Detail. We got a response for get test. Fine. 100. Okay. Okay. We got some error for post call. And what's the error? Is the get post call failed to build SRC test resources. Okay, I made a changes in the file name, so I changed from resource to resources, and I have not changed it in the post call, so I'll have to change it here. Fine. Okay, let me rerun once again finally. Okay, so one thing to note is like when I'm running this test, I'm not getting any responses back from the server, which means though I'm getting some response, so I'm getting 200 okay, but I'm not able to visualize those results. So in order to do so, I'll have to add a logger class. So once this test will, yes, so this test got completed, I can add logger definition over here, and then it should give us some info about our test.xml. Yes, and the configuration which I have shown for this particular logback XML is here. I'll share the reference link, so from where you can get all the details, and then you can add it into your particular logback test XML file, all these details, and then probably you'll get all the results in the console. So hopefully things are well. I can re-execute. Okay, so yes, the root level which I need to talk about. So here I have written root level as trace. So when it will be trace or debug, then I can get the responses back from the server into my console. If it will be info, then I'll not get all the information, and if it will be error. So these are the different methods of a logger class, and then I'll only get the response if I'll have some error, so that will be displayed in the console. But now at the moment I want all the responses from the server into my console, so that I can visualize, and in future I can utilize such capability for designing correlation and in my script. So here you can see whatever the responses I'm getting from the server, I can visualize them into my console. So I just stopped the test, and now here you can see, okay, I just stopped for which call. Okay, I just stopped for get. So for get we are getting 204 no content, but if I would have, so let me re-execute it once again so I can show you for get call all the responses that we'll be receiving from the server. Running. Yes, I think we got something. Let me check. Yes, so which call is it? I think it's a get call we got once we have launched that particular REQ So yes, this is the particular request, this is the status code, and this is the body that we received from the server for that particular page. Yes. Okay, we are done for this particular video. Thank you.